museum. My name is Allison and I really love camping. Now my camping plans are kind of on hold right now, so I thought that it would be fun to share one of my favorite things about camping with you today. The creatures. So we are going to learn about some really neat insects and animals that live here in the Okanagan with us. But these insects and animals are really special because they are nocturnal, which means that during the night while we are asleep, they are awake, traveling, hunting, hanging out, and maybe even throwing a party. So let's go meet some of these party animals. And before we get started, I do want to give a special shout out to some students from Dorothea Walker Elementary who submitted some really great questions about nocturnal animals, and I'm going to be answering those as we go around and meet some different party animals. But our very first party guest is very, very popular. It might be the very first animal that you think of when you hear the word nocturnal. So we are going to meet my friend, the great horned owl. Now the great horned owl lives all over North America, including right here in the Okanagan. And the great horned owl has 3 features that really help it to thrive at night. So the first one is very big and very powerful eyes. So their eyes require less light than ours to be able to see everything around them. So while we might need a flashlight to see what's going on when it's dark outside, they can use the light from the moon and the stars to see everything that they need. And their second feature is their ears. So they have very sensitive hearing and they can hear the smallest noises from really far away. But something else that's really cool about the owl's ears is that it's in 2 different places. So our ears are on the same side of our head, but an owl's ears are staggered. So they'll have one up here and one down here. So it'd be kind of like that, one up here and one down there. Now these little tufts on the owl, those are actually feathers. Those are not their ears. And they actually indicate the owl's mood, kind of similar to cat's ears. Now the third feature that owls have that help them during the night is all of their feathers. So when they're flying, their feathers make sure that they stay nice and quiet so that they can sneak up on their prey or sneak into a party. But they have some extra special feathers to help them do this. So they have comb feathers along the outside of their wings. And the feathers right between their legs are also very, very fluffy, and they sort of muffle any extra noise. Now owls, they are carnivores, and they use their sharp beaks and talons to catch and eat their prey. So if you are serving up mice or rabbits, maybe even small birds or a skunk at your party, a great horned owl might come by because those sound like pretty good snacks for an owl. And if you're ever wondering what a great horned owl sounds like, this could be something to keep an ear out for the next time you're outside at night. And we also have our very first question from Dorothea Walker. It says, why do baby owls now have regular feathers? Why are they so fluffy? So owls will have different feathers for different reasons. Some of them help them to stay really quiet while they're hunting. Other ones just help them to fly. And then other feathers help to keep them nice and warm. And baby owls, or owlets, they don't need to worry about being quiet while they hunt or flying. They're not there yet. Their only job is making sure that they stay really nice and warm. So they have lots of those down feathers on them to keep them extra, extra warm and cozy. And those feathers happen to be very, very fluffy. Now our next animal would make a great party guest because they won't complain about any of the snacks that you leave out, and they might even bring some to share. So here we have the red fox. Now the red fox can live in many different habitats. They can live in the desert, in the mountains, in the forest. They can even live around our neighborhoods. And because they live in so many different places, they are used to eating lots and lots of different things. So they will eat mice, worms, lizards, birds, fruit, rabbits, things like that. And they have lots of different teeth for eating all of their different snacks. And I have a fox skull to show you. So foxes, they have lots of different types of teeth for eating all of their different snacks. So they have some very long, sharp teeth for eating different types of animals and meat, but they also have some flatter teeth at the back there that are good for chewing and grinding up things that might take a little more work to chew through. And the top and the bottom, they fit together like two really nice puzzle pieces. So here we have a fox skull. So the red fox gets its name from the color of its fur. So there's lots and lots of red in there, but there's also lots of other colors. So there can be white and cream. You can see there's also brown on this one. They can even have more gray or more silver. So there's lots and lots of different fur colors that they can have. And for the nighttime, foxes, they have 3 different features that also help them to get around at night when it's really dark. So they have very big ears that help them to hear everything. They also have an excellent sense of smell and very good eyesight. So when you put all 3 of those together, it really helps the fox make its way around during the night. And they like to hunt at night because it's cooler than it is during the day. And sometimes it's also safer for them then. But because they live in so many different places, they can also sometimes be awake during the day if it's not too hot where they live and if they feel safe there as well. Now, I know the fox has a bit of a bad reputation of being a little mischievous and getting into some trouble, but foxes are actually very shy, they're very playful, and they're also very intelligent. So I think of them kind of like the wallflower at a party, where they're a little shy and reserved at first, but then once you get to know them, they are definitely the life of the party. Now, our next nocturnal creature might be a little too busy working to actually make it to a party, because pollination doesn't stop when the sun goes down, and these furry flyers work the night shift to make sure that pollen moves from flower to flower. So I have some moths here that live in the Okanagan. So here we have the Underwing Moth, and we also have the yellow-headed Cutworm moth. And you'll see that both of these moths have a lot of gray and brown and cream on their wings, and that helps them to camouflage and stay hidden. But you'll notice that the Underwing moth also has a pair of bright orange wings. Now, if there is a predator, something that wants to eat them, and they want to scare that predator, they'll flash their orange wings to shock them so that it gives the moth just a second to make a quick escape. And if you want to help these pollinators finish up their work so that they can have some fun and go to a party, then you can try planting white or cream-colored flowers in your garden, because that's easier for moths to see at night. And we have another question from Dorothea Walker. And this one says, why are some animals nocturnal? So animals will be nocturnal for a whole bunch of different reasons. Sometimes they like to have a little bit of cooler weather, so it's colder at night and they like being awake during that time. Or maybe the food they like to eat only comes out at night. Maybe the things that want to eat that animal come out during the day, so they try to avoid them by coming out at night. Or maybe with their coloring, it's easier for them to blend in and camouflage with shadows and things that are dark. So since there are lots of different reasons why an animal or an insect will be nocturnal, that's why we've got lots of different ones that live here with us. So our next animal will party all day and all night. So we've got the pine marten right here. And this furry little guy is awake for about 16 hours out of the day during the spring and summer. And they are awake so long because they have a very fast metabolism, which means that they need to be eating lots and lots of snacks all the time. And the pine marten is an omnivore, so they will make sure that they've got lots of different types of snacks. So they will eat some fruit or some nuts or even small animals. So you better watch your party snacks because you never know what the pine marten will want to eat. And the pine marten is also really interesting because they can change their schedule very, very easily. So if it's the winter time, they will shift their schedule to have more daytime hours because it's extra cold at night in the winter. Or if they have babies, they will also shift their schedule to be awake more during the day so that they can look after their little ones while it's a little more bright out. You'll also notice that the pine marten has some very long and sharp claws, and they use those to hunt and climb. Unlike other members of the weasel family, the pine marten has very quick reflexes, and it can run and move really, really fast. And one of my favorite things about the pine marten is that it has this really fluffy tail, and when it curls up, it wraps its tail around itself, kind of like a blanket, so it can have a nice pine marten nap. Now, our last party animal was so special that we decided to create an entire exhibit about them. I'm talking about bats. So here in Canada, we have 18 different species of bats, and in British Columbia, we have 15 of those. And in the Okanagan, we have 14 different types of bats. So we have lots and lots of different bats that like to live here. And bats, they make their homes in roosts. And different bats like to live in different places. Some of them like to make their roosts outside in trees, in caves, in rocky outcrops. And other bats like to live in things that people have made. So either a bat box, or maybe in a barn, things like that. And bats are also a little picky about how many other bats they like to live with. So we have the Yuma Myotis bat. It likes to live with lots and lots of friends. Whereas the western small-footed Myotis, it only likes to live with maybe a couple other bats, but it also likes to live completely alone. Okay, so even though bats will make their homes in different places and live with a different amount of bats, there is one thing that they all have in common. They love to have midnight party snacks, and they like to eat the creepy crawlies that we find outside. So they will eat things like moths, spiders, ants, mosquitoes, sometimes even scorpions. And because they're eating lots of things with crunchy outside exoskeletons, they have developed really special teeth that help them bite through those crunchy outsides. And I've got a bat here to show you so we can get a good look at their teeth. So here you can see bats are very, very small. They've got tiny little teeth, but that they are also very, very sharp. Okay, so that is our bat friend. Right back into its home. Now, just to put it into perspective of how much bats love snacks, okay, I'll give you this comparison. So the little brown bat can eat 600 mosquitoes in 1 hour. That would be the same as a 5-year-old child eating 40 plates of spaghetti in 1 meal. That's a lot of food to eat. So they also have lots of different party tricks up their wing. Okay, we have the Pallid Bat, which can make a smell that is very similar to the skunk. Okay, and it might do that to ward off predators. Or the eastern red bat, right down here. It can camouflage itself to look like a pile of leaves. And there's another party trick that all bats can do. It is something called echolocation. So echolocation is a special sound wave that the bats send out, and it helps them get a sense of what's around them. So they'll send out their sound, and whatever it hits, the sound will bounce back, and they will know if there's a building around them, or maybe if it bounces off of an insect and comes back, they'll know that there is a snack nearby for them. And now we've got one more question from Dorothea Walker Elementary. And it says, where do nocturnal animals go during the day? Now, that is a very good question. And nocturnal animals, they will go back to their homes during the day. So they will go there to stay nice and safe and to rest so that they are ready for the nighttime, so that they can go out and see their friends, get some snacks, and maybe even go to a party. So thank you for watching our video all about nocturnal animals and insects.